we have to just go. What were we doing? Brinish. Set Oceanus Septentrionalis to patrolled. Saxon raid always may use Oceanus. Don't remember where I was. It's been a while. I had to do a bunch of taxation things, and it's just been busy, which mainly means my wife does the taxation things, and I just spend a lot of time with my son. Not that I don't do that anyway, but I spend even more, and it's just been a little tiring. A lot of long days. And the cat, every morning at 3:50, will just meow and meow and meow, and I haven't been able to solve it. So I'm kind of tired. But if I'm going to do this, I got to do this. So let's do this. I just don't remember where we were. Looks like... Okay, well, whose turn is it? It is... If everything is how it should be right here, then it is Sarge's turn. He has to decide whether he wants to take this event on this card. He's last on the next card, so he's probably going to act, right? Saxon's raids... Oh, but did he take a... What did you choose? Command plus feat. Okay. So he can set this ocean to patrolled. That doesn't seem like a bad idea. What would his other options be? Oh, he's got some cavalry right here. There's all of those. Ooh, he probably wants to get them out of there, actually. You don't want to be sitting there with all those war bands, because he doesn't want to lose his cavalry. So I think he's probably just going to take a march command. And they're going to get out of there. Now he's going to want to defend the surrounding territory, though, because they're susceptible to raids. So I think he's probably going to send... He wants to send one there for sure. London's alright. This one's a little weak, this one's a little weak. I guess he'll just split them up this way. March out of there, spend 2. And that's going to be it for the card. Get a new card here. Ruin of the Villas. Oh, nope, it's going to be an epoch. Okay. Right out the gate. Part of like not getting enough sleep, I'm a very light sleeper. Part of not getting enough sleep is that you don't retain information very well. And I already don't retain information very well. So, let's go through this. Yeah, prosperity plus prestige. The barbarians did a lot better job this time around, actually, like taking out the prosperity before the epoch came. They were just kind of trying for a longer game, but didn't manage to deal with the short game in time during our first game on Twitch.tv. The second game, they kind of learned their lesson, and so here we are. So first Dukes, then Ciutate's faction may pay resources to place plunder. Okay, so they have to pay off the troops. The Federati. There's this whole process to paying off the Federati you have to follow. But if you're just going to pay them all off, you don't have to follow it. So I'm just going to pay them all off, partially because it's easier, and partially because I don't think it's a good idea to have just like roving, dissatisfied employees going around. So it looks like we have 6 Federati. Nope, 10. Alright. It's going to take all their resources, but that's not going to matter because they will get a bunch of resources. They paid them. So I think the upshot is you have to just make sure you have enough money to pay them, really. Then transfer all plunder carried by... Okay, to the renown. So, it's going to be the Saxons are just going to get a bunch of renown because we only have Saxon Federati out here, right? Yeah, it looks like 10 Saxon Federati. 24. So, how close does that put... Who is... I forget the people we're playing with. Dougie. How close does that put Dougie to his victory? His renown needs to exceed 30, which he's actually close to. He has to have at least 4... Ooh, wow. So he's actually really close now. So since the Federati settlements count for his victory total, if he can just get his... If he can keep his renown... Get his renown above 30 and keep it that way until the next epoch round, he will be golden. Not that that's necessarily going to happen. Hoarding Ciuitates may transfer Britain resources up to half the number of towns and to wealth. So half, and I think it's rounded up in this case. Yeah, so you can, and this is Bonzo. Okay, we're getting reacquainted here. We'll get into reading who we're playing with to remind ourselves soon. But there we have it. Yeah, I don't know why she wouldn't want to do that, except that they don't have that many resources. They only have 5 resources. So she's going to transfer all of that to wealth. Now, wealth, I'll remind you, is useful for a lot of functions. One of the main ones is the difference between wealth and prestige, or vice versa. Flips which of the two political sides have control over the Imperium, which is important because they need to have control in order to win. And they need to have dominance. I want to say dominance. Terminology is very important here. Control is number of pieces plus whether or not you have a settlement per space. It's dominance over the Imperium, like political dominance. Okay, if Britain control is 21 to 30, and have I been keeping up on control? I think I have. Britain control is pretty good. Should be probably, 38, that checks out. I think it starts at 40. If not, it doesn't matter. It's not going to matter. Oh, it could matter. Oh, this game could be over, actually. I need to tally up control real quick, which will be fun for you. So you got 1, 3, 6. Actually, no, I'm going to do it the easy way. I'm going to look at what it starts at and then subtract 2 from it, and that's what control's at. Either way, it's really just going to matter if it shifts or not, right? Because if control shifts, or if dominance shifts, then the Ciuitates win, which means the barbarians have failed yet again to do enough early on. I don't know. Alright. Yeah, Britain control started at 40, so they only lost 2 control through that whole business. And so if it shifts dominance to the Ciuitates, they win. Civilian dominance. Okay, if any shift occurred, nope, did not. If wealth minus prestige is greater than 10, it is not. There's not going to be a shift. It's going to maintain military dominance. So it's kind of an interesting situation. So if the, essentially if the dukes were doing worse, the barbarians would be even more screwed than they are. So kind of like the fact that the military is able to maintain control has helped the barbarians in the long run, and also helped the dukes at the same time. There's interesting kind of like ways that chips fall in this game. So no faction is won. Okay, so let's look at our epoch event. Cutting the ties. Britain expel Roman magistrates. Britons expel Roman magistrates. Ooh, this is a big deal. Ciuitates may shift to civilian dominance, or if already there, to autonomy in order to place 10 militia total in Britain control resources. Then dukes pay 0 or more resources. Ciuitates may add from wealth. Okay, so, well, you're going to shift it to civilian control. I don't know why not, so we just get to shift it. But we've already checked for victory, so that's not going to change anything right now in terms of victory. That's one reason they have the events happen afterwards, because it would be kind of crappy to play this game and be like, oh, we lost because this event turned up. They're going to have a whole campaign, I don't know if they call it a campaign in this game, to react to this shift. So basically the barbarians are going to be looking to shift control even more, if because they kind of want things to fall apart. Okay, so then where do they get removed to? They get removed to available. Okay, Sarge seems like he might be willing to take a little bit of a risk. Oh, well, they don't have any money, actually. Yeah, they have no money to spend on this die roll here. We started out with 20 cavalry, so we're going to have to roll... Basically, 2d6 are going to have to be gotten rid of unless Bonzo wants to spend some wealth to add to the die roll. Yeah, so let's learn a little bit about Bonzo. Bonzo is a sales manager. Her secret fantasy is to be a famous Grand Prix driver. She loves the smell of skunk. I remember this now because I also like that smell. I don't love it, but I like it. Pet peeve is people who pretend to be happy. I'd like to know if she likes the smell of gasoline, because I wonder if there's some overlap there. She'd like to meet Einstein. Personal motto, fake it till you make it. Most proud of her legs. Reputation in high school, unsure. 3 words that describe Bonzo are weird, fabulous, and wild. So that doesn't really tell us a lot as to whether or not she would put money down for the maintaining of this cavalry. Kind of think she would. It's a little bit of wealth. So let's look at the difference for it to shift back to military dominance. That's going to be like kind of the gamey way to think about it. Unless you're thinking about your partnership with Sarge and kind of wanting to maintain that strength. Not that Sarge is going to particularly want to back her up right now since she is, an epoch away from winning. Wealth minus prestige is greater than 10. Okay, so she has to be within 5. So she spent yeah. She wouldn't want to spend too much. She might spend a token amount of wealth. Maybe 3 wealth. Give them a 50-50 shot. So equal to roll total less amount paid. Okay. So we're going to roll this twice. It's going to be 2d6 minus 6, essentially. So nothing. And nothing. Rolled snake eyes there. So actually, she could have spent 1 wealth. But you don't know that. So they're going to stick around. All the cavalry are sticking around. And we have more of this sheet to go through. Revenue. Okay. So the dukes would get to increase prestige by +5. But they don't have any dominance. There's no fragmentation. Ciuitates add Britain resources equal to prosperity under Britain control plus total towns. Okay, so the total towns are 13. We can just do that off the bat. The total prosperity is currently, assuming I kept this up to date, 45. It's really good when playing this game to move markers. Remember to move markers as things change. It's really easy to forget to do. I think probably easier to remember if you're playing with more people. More humans. So if you're playing by yourself, you kind of have to do everything yourself, and it's easier to forget without someone else looking at you. So 45, where are we at? So it takes us to 58. Okay. Imperial taxation, reduce Britain resources by -30, -20 of civilian dominance. So they're not starting off with that much. Same amount of money as they have control, which I think is fair. You should have as much money as you have control. If you have more money than you have control, then that's inequality. Saxons get a bunch of resources. No, they don't. I was going to say it was equal to current renown. I don't know. Prosperity under Saxon control is 1. They get $1 of renown. Sky to renown to total, they get nothing. Just control is needed. I don't know why we'd adjust control right now. Oh, because in case the event had removed things. Dukes convert all plunder carried by dukes. Dukes have no plunder. Only the Saxons have plunder. Oh, no. Nope, I'm wrong. Each fort either pay 1 resource or remove it to available. The dukes are going to pay for their forts. Yeah, 38. Unless, do you have a fort? Oh, it's so sad, this town. Oh. Okay. 48 minus 38 minus 9 is 29. If under autonomy, we're not relocate all cavalry to forts. Okay. Are they all at forts right now? These are not at forts. You have to go to a fort. We'll just put you here, because maybe we'll want to relocate them all at once. Put you here. Put you here. Then we'll distribute you as we wish. Now this is an interesting choice. Do you want to distribute them defensively, which just means you put them all in kind of like one, or you spread them around to the different forts, right? Or offensively, which means you put them all together so that you can just move them all together cheaply to get somewhere and do some stuff. Where is your town? Oh, there it is. Okay. Sarge, let's talk to Sarge. Sarge is a filmmaker. Secret fantasy is to skydive in the rain. He has webbed toes, better to move himself through the water, the rain. Does not like sand between his toes. His toes, the fact that he was born with webbed toes, that slight mutation has really changed, like, it's like 3/10 of his personality is based on that one mutation, which is actually maybe not that much. You could expect it to be more, to influence you more, to have something like that, to have some mutation. Like if I had a tail, I could very well see that just kind of being my thing. Like, hey, I'm the tail guy. You'd like to meet David Lynch. Personal motto, it could be worse. That's true. Like, what other mutations would be worse than webbed toes? Probably most of them. Webbed toes, I think, would actually, that's kind of like almost like the closest to like the X-Men that we have. Because when you have a tail, it's a vestigial tail, and you can't really do anything with it. It's not like you can't like grip things with it or like pick up a wrench from the ground. But if you have webbed toes, I imagine that would help you swim faster. So I think that's like one of the better mutations one could get that I know about. Personal motto could be worse. Most proud of the paintings he's done, not his films, which is interesting. Though maybe he thinks of like a film as like painting with light. Reputation in high school: the good kids thought he was trouble, and the troublemakers thought he was goody-goody. 3 words that describe him: restless, eclectic, lively. Okay. So how does that decide how we put our cavalry everywhere? Sarge, you're restless. I don't think he wants to bunch them all up. He wants to spread them out. He doesn't want like to have all his eggs in one basket. He wants to have webbed toes. He wants to spread free and fan out. All right? Okay. So he's concerned about these Saxons most of all. But he also kind of wants them to stay there and maybe do some more damage, because otherwise the Britain control is going to be too high. Right? So he also does not want them to take towns. He is not going to protect any hill forts. He is going to stick to the fens, I think. I've already got a foothold in the fens. Does not want that. And get kind of like a solid block there. Another guy there, I guess. Yeah, this is interesting. So like part of him would want them to like take this area right here because it's got a really high population. But on the other hand, it's got a lot of prosperity, which he wants to keep. I think he'll get like a mini like fighting force right here. Like that'll be, he doesn't want to just play purely defensively. And then put this other person where? I want to forsake some area, right? So it'd be like, here, come take control of this so they don't win. Ideally, a 3 would be what he wants. How about Atrabates, actually? He already put 1 there. Let's let them take Atrabates. That's a good idea. With that in mind, maybe he doesn't pay to upkeep the fort either. So this fort has to come back. And he's got three cavalry to put elsewhere. And the whole Regni, he's going to just kind of buff him up there. And throw another one over here. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, and you can also just move people around too. So I guess you didn't have to let the fort fall, but why not? You're not going to save that area. Let them... Don't pay for a fort there. But there's no casualties. Ciuitates, they don't have any plunder. Each space remove 1 and 3 militia to available. Alright. You have 3. You are removed. No one else has 3. That's one of the more gamey aspects to this game. And I think A Distant Plain has a similar mechanism. Maybe some other coin games do too, where it's like you kind of want to avoid having exactly 3 in a space, 3 militia. I suppose she could have put those elsewhere earlier when she got that event. What was the event? Yeah, she could place 10. See, I let myself fudge and go back on some of these things because this is stuff that the player themselves would be thinking about more. They would know the whole... I'm playing pretty linearly. I'm not like looking ahead too much because, you know, I'm streaming, so I kind of feel like I always have to be going forward. And that's just kind of a natural style for me. Anyway, but I feel like if people were all sitting around, they would be able to look at stuff and read. There's all sorts of downtime usually in games. Less so in coin games. More so in this one than other coin games, I suspect, because there's less negotiation in this coin game. Okay. Anyway, so if it's not going to impact anyone else's decision, I can let them go back and fudge it when they probably would have information that I do not have in my head. Because I'm not just so obsessed with the Ciuitates, really. I mean, Bonzo might be, but... So she's trying to hold control. So she's not going to put one there. Basically, she's relocating the ones that would have just been removed. She'll go to there. There's that 3 again. She'll go here and here. I don't know why this says uncontrolled. It should be controlled. Oh, I think I was missing a marker. Yeah, missing a marker. I'm going to move this one. Just going to be... Oh, we want to put one here. Oh, this place is ugly. I'm going to put one there. Okay. There's no comitates yet. Discard half of all available refugees. Luckily, there's no refugees to forsake. Relocate all militia and comitates from spaces without towns or hill forts to nearest town or hill fort. Hey, do you think they're all at home? Yeah, I could have had her put some people here, but militia there. But I just think that's just throwing up bodies. Not going to really help. And then these folks would have to go back home if they weren't already home. Okay, so now the Saxons are going to get some plunder. They actually return. So it's 4. Any other Saxon plunder out there? Nope. So they get another 4 renown. They are very close to their goal of having 30. And then the Scotty are going to do the same thing. I would really love to play this game opposed. Not because I love the opposition, but just to really like focus on one side and kind of get a feel for it quicker. Though I kind of think you get the same sort of thing per amount of time if you do it this way. You know, I could do 4 games playing multiplayer solitaire and get the same kind of experience or same kind of insight into a side as I would one time playing with 4 people. Well, no, it wouldn't be the same. It'd be different actually. What would be different about it is that I would see the interactions from a different angle, and I wouldn't see the other sides and get as much of an insight into how they think about things. But at the same time, I would really get like, I don't know why I'm saying this. This is no brainer. All right, relocate any warbands not in their factions, blah blah burp, into their settlements. It's already there. New leadership. Nope, that's not gonna. Each region with any control add prosperity equal to population. Okay. Discard all momentum events. Do we have any? I don't think we do. I have an aversion to momentum. Oh, wait. There's sales, right? Yeah, we do discard one. Okay. Okay, let's do the prosperity. So, add 1, 2 here. And this does not count for total prosperity, I don't think. Or does it? To the rules. Does this total prosperity, is it total prosperity under Britain control, or is it total prosperity in Britain, period? Oh, okay. Yeah, it does. It does matter. So it's kind of interesting. So the Dukes kind of have a natural way of things going back their way. So another 3. Here we go. Going up, going up. Alright. A lot of prosperity was lost, but it's kind of all almost coming back. That's another 2, 4. So since things are in Roman rule, a lot more prosperity is able to come back. Once Rome leaves the picture, 6, 8, you kind of have more of a limit as to how much prosperity can go back. I'm going to say 8 there. So that was a big boon to the Dukes. They are now much closer to their goal. And that's going to be it for the epoch. I could take it off to the side. Ruins of the Villas. I got to take a quick break, and I will be back. I thought I turned that off. Alright, so I'm going to stop. I know probably it's more considerate to just switch to a screen that says, I'll be back soon. But I don't have that screen. So I'm going to stop for a little bit and then come back.